What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk channel. We discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So today's episode, I'm going to discuss why you should never move in with a woman. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers, subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out, give you leverage, do better yourselves. If you're new to the channel, thanks again for tuning in to the channel to watch this video. Hopefully you get some out of it, because I'm going to speak about something to men that is very important for men to understand. All right, so let's get into it. So why do I say a man should never move in with a woman? Well, it's a pretty simple concept, and I'm talking about from all perspectives. So I'm talking about if you was homeless and you meet a woman, you just start dating her, and then she offers to, for you to move in with her. If you're courting a woman and you both have a house, right? And you're about to get married, and for whatever reason, you guys decide collectively that you're going to give up your house and move in hers. You know what I'm saying? So there's all kinds of different scenarios that I'm talking about when it comes to you moving in with a woman. But in any scenario, you should absolutely never, I mean never, move in with a woman. Here's why I say that. So, for one, most women, not all women, right? And I don't want to group women together as a whole when it comes to the concept. But I mean, I also got to go back to what natural instinct is, right? When it comes to men and women, right? And for the most part, even though you have some women that are very masculine on purpose, and they, for whatever reason, they like to be in charge. They like to, to have the last say in a lot of things. But in the same token, they still want a man, right? They still, to a certain degree, still want somebody to be somewhat dominant. They want a man. They don't want somebody that's weak. They don't want somebody that's timid or anything like that, right? Whether it be the woman is a soft woman or a woman that's masculine. Most of them all want a man that's like a man's man. They want somebody that, can take charge and take control of the room, things of that nature. Pretty much an alpha male, right? And, if you decide to move in with a woman, to a certain degree, that puts her in a dominant position. Now, I know, a lot of women may disagree with that, because, from a financial perspective, it may make sense for the guy to move in with a woman. And in that sense, I'm talking about like if the other scenario I was talking about, where both of you are getting married, and and your house is the cheaper house or your house is the bigger house, whatever the case can be, right? Like the guy has a house that's not as conformative to their lifestyle as versus her house, so they decide collectively, from a financial perspective, to move into her house, and he gives up his. Even in that scenario, I still say you shouldn't do that. Now, teach his own. This is all my personal opinion, but that's all to say is that it seems like in a lot of scenarios, in that case, that you're putting the woman in a dominant position, because I don't care how much that woman love you. I don't care how much that woman respects you, and and takes heed to your counsel and all these other things, right? A woman that's really down for you. She's still gonna have that mindset that that's still her house, even though you're the man and you're the person that's supposed to be, in charge of the relationship, right? She still, in her mind, is gonna be like, well, he's in my house, so I should have the last say in a lot of these things. And this concept goes with a lot of things with women. When it comes to a woman that makes more money than a man, a woman that has a better education, a higher education level than a guy. When a woman is in a position where she has dominance over certain things in that man's life, it makes her feel like that she is the dominant force in the relationship. And a lot of times, in my opinion, right, that relationship is doomed to end, because the woman wants to be dominated to a certain degree. I'm not saying that a woman wants to, have somebody to be a dictator over her. I said in the video before, as far as like, not putting it in a perspective where the woman wants to be, basically just told what to do like a I don't want to say that word, but being told like a lackey, right, for lack of better words, or a child. No woman wants to be treated like that. So I totally get that concept. But you still, to a certain degree, as far as women are concerned, they still want a dominant man. And dominant men have the last say in a lot of things. A dominant man makes the decisions, right? The woman follows and the man leads. And you're not leading to a certain degree if you move into that woman's house. I'm telling you, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, every woman is different, so I totally get it. If you're in a scenario right now where you're a guy, you moved in with your woman, and it was a scenario where, where y'all just decided it was just financially sound for you guys to move into her house versus yours. Okay, I mean, if that's what works for you, it works for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to move out of the house right now because of this video. I don't want to break up anybody's relationship. So what works for you works for you. So I'm not going to sit here and say that like all together, like that's always going to be that scenario where it's not going to work, right? But what I will say is that if you are in the other scenario, scenario I was talking about, where where you was homeless, or you was in a situation where you was kind of like your hand was kind of forced to move in with that woman, it's not a good look for you, guy, at all. It really isn't. From that scenario, she definitely thinks she got the pants on in a relationship, hands down. You're not gonna be able to tell that woman anything because you moved into her house. You're utilizing her space, right? She's the one that's on the rent, on the mortgage. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Even though you're the guy in a relationship, even though you're the man in a relationship, you still don't got no authority over her to a certain degree because it's her house. What are you gonna do? Tell her, hey, it's gonna be like this, that, and the third, and it is what it is. She's not trying to hear that because it's her house. It's her house. Let me say that again. It's her house. So she's gonna be, in her mind state, the dominant one in that relationship. And if you want to be in a situation where you're the man and you're in charge, you moving in with your woman's, you moving into your woman's house or apartment, it's not gonna be a good look for you. I wish we lived in a logical world, in a safe world, in a make sense world, for lack of better words, where even though you move into the woman's house, that she understands that you're the dominant person, you're the man, and you're the one that's supposed to be in charge. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? The world is not perfect. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of times in situations like that, the woman is really going to feel like that she's in charge, and you're not going to tell her anything because it's her house. She paid for it. She's paying the rent. She's paying the mortgage. She the one that got that house, not you. So how does it look like for you to move into her house and then all of a sudden you're in charge? You didn't build that for her. She built her own space. Not to say she built the house as a whole, like with her hands. I'm just saying, like in her mind, she literally got out the mud and got that house or that place that she lives in on her own, not with your help at all. So for you to come in there and think you're gonna have a dominant space in her space like that, it doesn't make any sense, especially with westernized women. And I'm not saying anything bad about westernized women at all. I'm just saying, like, when you go to other countries, it's a totally different perspective. It's a totally different concept. But in America, that don't fly. I don't care what race you dating at the time. That's not going to fly. You walk into a woman's house and then you're gonna be the dominant person. I don't think so. Even if the woman is soft, she's still in her mind gonna be like, how in the world is he telling me what to do? He moved into my house, not vice versa, right? So my suggestion is either she moves to your house, or y'all both get rid of y'all houses or apartments and y'all move in mutually into a house or an apartment that you guys didn't have in the first place, and it's 50-50. If that's what is logical and sound and financially sound when it comes to the perspective of the relationship. But for you to move into her house or her apartment, not a good look. So take this with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to educate men, not just young men, but any man when it comes to this. I've seen so many men in my life that moved into a woman's house and it didn't work out too well for them. You know what I'm saying? Or I've seen guys that jump from house to house. it's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But but it's a real thing. And you're just not gonna be in your masculine period, or be able to be in your full masculine being in a woman's house and think that you're gonna be in charge. You're not in charge, guys. She is. So once again, don't move into a woman's house. You know what I'm saying? Either y'all both, if she moves to your house, or y'all move out of your own homes and get one together, because the shift of authority when it comes to that is going to be on her side at all times, not yours. So if you want me to discuss a topic that you think is going to be beneficial to the channel, email me at financefitnessandfolk@gmail.com. Let me repeat that. Financefitnessfolk, not and folk. Financefitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address in the description below. Finance Fitness and Folk. Triple F, I'm gone.